Welcome to episode 7 of the Beta Academy's Pandemic Podcast. We are your hosts, Nakapan and Lewis. Of course, Lewis is not actually in the school right now, but he has been preparing the school. So little picture there to remind us where we're all trying to get back to.
That's right. Like that. I went to the school and I was like, man, I gotta find the perfect spot to take a good background picture for Zoom.
And we also got joining us as a guest on the show today, we got Chris Denigri. Of course, you know him at the front desk. He's also, what I understand, pro gamer.
Oh.
Pro gamer and YouTuber. So he's coming on today. Yeah, you guys, right there. And we got Nahom, who's with Don Demisi. Nahom Demisi. Of course, you know, fighter at the school. Current amateur Muay Thai record of 20-1, and he's joining us today. We're going to talk about some martial arts. We're going to talk about some old days, and then ask some. Well, I guess I want to ask questions of me too. So we brought a better an interview or two, which would be Chris. So welcome, y'all.
Welcome.
Great. Oh, one thing.
Thank you.
You know, I've only heard about your legendary gaming. So what games are you playing? I'm just curious.
So is it a question more about my history with it, or what I'm doing now with
how
my
about
current
both?
streaming?
I'm just asking. Just how about both? I used to play a lot of StarCraft.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Cool. StarCraft is a cool RTS. So that means a real-time strategy game. So that's pretty cool. Granted, I don't play a lot of real-time strategy. I more so started with first-person shooters. So in that first wave, when Call of Duty first hit big, I definitely started with that, and I went in hard with that. That was around 2007, 2008, and I kept strong with it up until about 2010, 2011. But I was also really into Halo, which is another first-person shooter. It's kind of old school as well, and I kept on with that. I moved out of my parents' place and moved to Hagerstown into a gaming house during the first wave of social media. So it wasn't anything like the things that you would see now, but it was our own, and it was cool, and we were doing good at it, traveling around, going to different types of events. And I did that for about a year, and that was in, like I said, 2010, 2011. And after that, I decided I had to get a job and stuff like that. And if I had stuck with it, then who knows? But I wouldn't be here right now, and I'm very happy to be here. And in terms that in terms of what I'm doing right now, I do a lot of streaming. Especially because you can't go to events and stuff like that, and I'm not necessarily part of a team anymore. So I do a lot of streaming, mostly single player games now. I've kind of had my fair share of multiplayer after years and years and years and years of doing that and being part of that environment. It is quite exhausting. A lot of people might not know that a lot of pro gamers actually retire by their mid-20s because it is so exhausting, and other life responsibilities take hold. And if you try to get back into it after your mid-20s or in your 30s, a lot of these young cats that are 14, 15 years old, or under 20 years old, honestly, they're all jacked up on, caffeine, and their nervous systems are fresh, and energy drinks and all kinds of stuff. And you just can't hang with them in that way. And also, they don't have anything else to focus on, besides school and friends and stuff like that. And they're just fresher, so I have no intention of getting back into that. Definitely not, because it is a lot. So now, I do streaming, mostly single player games, mostly games that I feel like are setting, a new wave, new games. I just streamed Resident Evil 3 Remastered. That's the new one that came out. It's single player.
I love Resident Evil.
Old series. Resident Evil was great survival horror series. I play a lot of survival horror games now, single player. I had never played the game before. It's brand new. I beat the entire thing live in 5.5 hours in one sitting on stream. So it's not like you're sitting there. Streaming is its own beast, definitely, and it is exhausting in and of itself. You're not just sitting there, playing the game, just doing whatever. It is very much like running an orchestra or a DJ, doing their thing. Like I got the iPad open, I got the phone open, I got the laptop open. I'm playing on the monitor. I got the TV on to see what the audience is seeing. You got to interact with people on the chat. Sometimes if I have the camera on, people see you. And so it's not like you can just be like, hold on, I got to get up and go to the bathroom. No, you got to kind of sit there for the long haul and have a lot of energy for that amount of time. And that can be very exhausting in and of itself. But it's fun. It's what I like to do. I love talking to people, whether it's in person, online, whatever. And so, yeah, that would be a little bit about that.
That's hilarious. You're saying 5.5 hours you had to beat a game. That means you probably couldn't get up to use the bathroom. You just got to sit there.
I didn't.
Right?
You got a willpower, dog.
A decade ago, there was somebody, when I was so into StarCraft playing the game, there was a Korean guy who died because he didn't go to the bathroom for 3 days. He just sat there and played the game.
Good.
Yeah. That's how crazy gaming is, man. It's a whole other world, bro.
Yeah.
So I'll touch you on that. Get back to all those. That's competitive gaming. That's it's almost like fighting, right?
Yeah.
So if you're retiring early, you got to go through. If you look up, is his name Slayer Boxer, or I don't know if you know his name, but anyway, if you look it up on YouTube, this guy's named Slayer Boxer. He's a Korean guy, and he wears a cape, and he's playing StarCraft, this real-time strategy game, in an arena, right? And they have pyrotechnics, and they got sound and music, and these guys they do a walkout, and they come to their computers in the front, and there's 20,000 people watching them play this game, and they got a commentator, and he's up there commentating, seeing what's going on with the game. I mean, it's serious business out there. And they would say kosu, kosu in Korean means pro gamer. So does it give you respect? And you're you won in a minute. Oh, kosu, And there's also terrible gamer, bad gamers, hasu, bad gamer, dude. You suck.
Kosu and hasu.
Hasu. Anyway, so
the biggest thing I did for video games was back when we were on deployment. We would all play Halo, and Halo had a 4-player mode where you get the sword, and then you're a beast if you can get that sword and kill everybody.
You just need pistols. You don't even need an automatic weapon. That shows how pistols and melee. You just walk up and hit the guy in the face.
That's right.
So anyway, it looked like this little four corner thing playing the game sitting next to you. But now people don't have to do that. You can do it from the comfort of your home, which is probably what everybody's doing now. Let's see. Look, we got a pro gamer, and then we got an aspiring pro fighter here, Nahom Demisi, of course, fighting Muay Thai. What's going on, Nahom?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. How have you been spending this time? Now that it's very difficult for us to get together, but soon.
I mean, I'm still in school, but it's just everything is done remotely. So every assignment, every work is on computer, with Zoom and stuff. So at first it was a little hard beginning, and I also had to look at what am I going to do training wise as well. So I'm going out running. Sometimes me and my friends will meet up to train in the park or something. But I'm hanging out. I'm hanging there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hanging there.
I see some of your stuff. You're hitting pads. That's good, man. You got to stay in shape.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I saw this video of Nahom. He put Thai pads on a pole in the park or something.
That's uncomfortable.
Dude, and he starts kicking it, but for real. I couldn't believe it.
He's definitely a fanatic, man. This guy, he loves to fight. He's very entertaining to watch as well. We're going to get into all that, and especially the story of the one blemish on your record is a great story too, where some people don't get to know about it. But here's what I'm saying. You should make sure, you continue to train. Of course, I don't got to tell you that. You're a fanatic with your training, so I never had to tell you to train. I do have to tell you to be on time because you're always late. So while we are asking questions, I will take this opportunity to also roast you a bunch.
Of course.
And no chilling at the front desk because, everybody's trying to work. Like Chris at the desk, he's doing his thing, and you're always coming up. bothering everybody, but that's okay.
We got to get Darnell on here. I'm going to message Darnell. He's going to be
Yeah.
like, I got
Darnell's your dad. He's your dad, dude. He's got to come and help you out. But you know, we have a lot of goals that we've set, especially for yourself. Want to hear more about them now as you're you know, you're 21 now.
Yes, sir.
You know, so you know, we want to have a long career, obviously, but we have to pick the right fights as we move forward. And we've always said that, you know, the one championship is a good opportunity for you to be working towards. So you got to start putting all your stuff together, man. Put in a highlight reel. You know, one of the things that I'm about to do, and I don't like doing, I'm about to maybe have to make a post. There is one championship is having The Apprentice. Have you seen that? They're doing
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, so I don't know. It looks like something. I'm gonna throw my hat in there and see what's up. But I got to make a 1-minute video. We said we're trying to get on the one championship no matter what.
Yeah,
we're going to do it.
Get into. Yeah.
One way or another. This one is a reality business show, so it's a different route. I think it's very interesting. They're going to have fighters on their competitor. You don't need to be a fighter, I guess, to apply. So, but hopefully, I might get appeal on both sides because I've been trying as many ways as I can to get in the one championship. I have a lot of contacts. Ang La is a good friend of mine. Brendan Vera, they're both champions in their respective weight classes, and they've been reigning champions for a while now. I each reached out to them. I reached out to my good friend Alex, who trains at and runs the Tiger Muay Thai, who knows Rich Franklin. So we tried to go to Rich Franklin. That was a good idea. I don't know why they keep blocking me. Maybe I'm getting older or something. I'm about to be 40 soon. They don't like that. But you know, you got to keep on trying to be persistent, as we say. But for you, Nahom, I think that's the key. That's a good way for us to try to get in there. It's got to be your next thing.
Okay. Yeah, I look forward to it.
So I'm gonna ask you. You tell me. What are you trying to do?
Well, one championship, like you said, one champion is a great organization to be in. You know, I like the respect. I like everything about it. You know, I've been following them since they came out. So I definitely want to be in there. Want to be one of their fighters. It's a good place to be, and it's good for me too. So as to like further my skills, further my yeah. So they have good stuff there. So definitely looking forward to being there.
If you haven't seen the one championship, it's free right now. I think most of the fights are free. You can download the app.
Yeah.
So they're really trying to get as much viewership as possible. I went over there. I went to Thailand maybe like 2.5 years ago to go to the one championship. Somebody gave me tickets to go because I was training at Tiger Muay Thai, and they offered me a seat in there to watch the fights. There wasn't. It was. I mean, the respect goes even to the crowd. Like the crowd is totally quiet watching these fights. And I saw Gary Tonin fight that day. I think he heel hooked somebody or guillotine choked somebody or something. But the fights are interesting in the one championship also in that they do MMA and they do Muay Thai in the cage, right, where you can wear MMA gloves.
MMA gloves, yeah.
Right? You can do that, and you can also fight Muay Thai with regular gloves. You can also do glory rules.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different rule sets in there.
Brutal. So they do Muay Thai with MMA gloves?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bloody mess. That's called Banchu?
I think John Wayne Parr, his school is called Banchu Gym, and he's an Australian. I think he might have coined those terms to try to market his gym. But actually, he just came out of retirement again recently, and he's going to fight for the one championship.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That should be interesting. The gunslinger, John Wayne Parr, he's fought. He was on the first Contender Asia. That was
I remember that.
Right, that was a reality show that you could watch for Muay Thai, and I think that was one of the first ones that they had for Muay Thai. And it was back in the 90s. I don't know if he won it or not, but he definitely got a lot of fans through it, and people started following his career. And they have a similar thing at the One Championship, the One Warrior Series, where they try to do like what is it called? It's like the Ultimate Fighter. They're trying to do a reality show. So they're trying to do their best to kind of spread out in Asia, the Chinese market, Japanese market, all of Southeast Asia. They're spreading into the Middle East, and they're trying to get more of African viewership. And so I think that's where you come in, Nahom, is that you got to use what you got.
Right.
your background, you can really connect with fans. And I think a lot of it is marketing. You know, they really try to push. Oh, this guy, he's from like Vietnam, or this guy's from Malaysia, Indonesia. He's an Indonesian fighter. And now when they have fights, all those people from that country tune in and check it out. So it's been really, you know, spreading. They've also, One Championship also has a gaming convention too, Chris, where you can play like Tekken and Street Fighter. So, I mean, you can compete for the One Championship in so many different ways, dude. You might want to come out of retirement and start playing some fighting games.
They used to do lift away as well.
I can get down on some fighting games, man. Yeah.
You got to make weight, though.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, remember we had that thing at Beta, the video game night, where we had a Street Fighter tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? Chris, you weren't there for that. You were there?
I mean, I was there for one. I remember Knock was crushing everybody at one of those games.
Oh, you're talking about that time. Yeah.
I used to play a lot of Street Fighter 2 and a lot of Tekken. So coming up, I always enjoyed Tekken because, you know, they had fighters and they had styles on them. So Muay Thai fighter, the guy's Bruce Irvin or something like that. He's a Muay Thai guy, and then martial law, who's like a Jeet Kune Do guy. And so you could like really represent those arts, but those arts kind of went really deep too. In that a lot of the techniques, I mean, obviously they are mimicking the art, but also I always like that level of you being able to counter. You know, I found that like that's like real fighting. You know, somebody hits you, you do like back on the top two buttons, and then you can like deflect their shot and then come back, and then you could also counter a counter, which we call the chicken. So if you punch them and they counter you, you can re-counter them back. So you know. Whereas I feel like the UFC games are more like button mashing. So the timing, and we call it what? Collision detection. The collision detection on that game is like, you know, it's spot on. So I always felt like it helped you in your fighting, and that like your hand-eye coordination was getting sharper, and you were able to like, you know, see things as they happen and react to it. I also think that's why Nahom has some incredible ability, because your background is what? You play soccer.
Yeah. Play soccer. I used to play soccer. I still do.
How many years did you play soccer?
Well, since like middle school, to be honest. I used to play back home as well. So, but I used to play soccer all my life, you know, to be honest.
No, where's back home?
Ethiopia. It's like when I was a little kid. So I like soccer back since as a child. So growing up, I just play soccer with friends outside. Now, when I came here, I was like in a middle school when I used to play. I was in a team playing soccer. But I was good at it. I just like martial arts better. So,
I think soccer.
Wow, that's why he's so good with footwork.
Yeah, the footwork is good. Plus, like, he can see things almost before they happen. You know, the ball is moving very fast, and so I think you're being able to, they said like the people of the next generation of the future would have very quick sight, and they would see things coming towards them. They can react faster. So his reaction time is, you know, really good. And your the way that you move, they say like you fight like a young old man, you know, you move very slow. Yeah, it's fun. He has a lot of fun. I think that's one of the most important things, is that you have fun fighting.
Yes.
So we want to get back to that soon. So
how many amateur titles do you have, Nahom?
I got 5.
5 belts?
Yeah.
Ooh.
5 belts. We would have had 6.
It would have been more, but it's just, I don't know. Stuff happens.
You know, here's the thing, though. It's like, I think what you get out of it more is the experience rather than the title. I think all these younger kids now, people coming up, are looking for accolades. And I think while it's important to pad your resume, I think that you're looking for challenges that are at the right time and that push you more so than just going for the trophy or the, saying that you're the champion. If you're the champion and only one person showed up and you fought that person, yeah, you definitely, you earned the championship, but like, what are the circumstances around?
Like, did you really?
Sometimes it's like, IBJJF, they give you a default gold medal for showing up.
Dude, it's the worst when you get a losing silver medal. Oh, it feels worse.
There's only 2 people in your division, you take home the silver, you post on Instagram that you took a silver medal, but you're like, you know what's up.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
look, here's the thing. But you know, there's respect to that too. You did show up.
Yeah.
You know, you traveled across the world. It's not your fault that, you know, there's only one other person, but it is your fault for posting if there was nobody in the division and you say you're a champion. So that is your fault. But yeah, so like the important part is that you get the right challenges. And Nahom, you know, he has risen to every single challenge. We said that, well, 21 fights now. You're 20-1.
22 actually. Yeah, 21-1.
21-1.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, fact check.
Contest? What happened? It was a draw.
No, it was a recent one that made it 21-1. The
21-1.
Before the the injury.
Rising, right?
No, it was after Rise. It was Muay Thai Super Series. The one I broke my, you know, yeah.
Fight, I forget.
That was my last fight, and the fight got canceled for this, you know, March.
Yeah.
Broke his hand.
He broke his hand because we weren't able. Coach Darnell was not allowed to wrap your hands in gauze.
Yeah.
Normally we wrap your hands. We add the tape and everything and make like a pillow on top of the fist, and that way, like when you hit, you can hit without damaging your hand so much. But in this case, they had to wear hand wraps. I think it's because they wanted the event to go a lot faster. And what'd you do? You went for the body shot. You connected on an elbow.
Yeah.
And then you had a
landed wrong. Yeah. Exactly.
Right? That the fourth metacarpal.
Yeah, the index finger's metacarpal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a boxer's fracture. That's like a serious. You know, who else had a boxer's fracture? Chris, you had a boxer's fracture, right? You fractured your.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that.
Yeah, on this one right here, this one. That's why it's kind of like, and you can see it. I mean, it's bald, you know, but it doesn't hurt or anything like that, you know. So
did they put a pin in? Did they put
it's
metal
all good?
in there?
But yeah,
they put like metal. They put pin
No, and this is kind of a running theme in my life, I guess, is a lot of the injuries that I sustain are right on that line of not being bad enough to require massive treatment, but are like just bad enough to be like at that point. So they were like, it's bad enough to where we could do surgery on it, but that could complicate the matter more because it wasn't clean. It more like broke into like pieces. Like shattered, you know, and was just kind of there. Like, imagine if you break a plate and you glue it back. Huh?
I said, how is that not serious? It's shattered all over the place, right? You need surgery for that.
Yeah, but they were like, it'll heal well if you leave it alone. If we cut it open, it could heal better, but it could complicate matters. So it's like, they asked me, they're like, what do you want to do? And I was like, let me just leave it, you know, because I saw the x-ray and I was like, all right, let me just see. And it's fine now. Like, it's good and strong. So
you can do push ups. I see you hitting the bag. Like, you train an extra hour after training usually, and you're working hard. You're sweating. So looks like it's holding up, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Because my brother, Noah, you probably see him. We don't look anything alike. We always love that he's like, oh, my brother. You know, so my brother, and he also fractured his hand. And he says like he's got full use of it, but he notices it. You know, there's a lump in there, and he's got to be careful with it sometimes. He used to train Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu too with us, so I got to get him to get back into training. But how's your hand holding up, Nahom? You did have surgery for your hand, yes?
Yeah, and I had a pin stuck in it for a while. I mean, like as you can tell, like it's sewed up nice and easy. I can punch with it. I can make a fist. It healed like sometime in February, so I used to do stuff with it. That's why I was being prepared for the March one. So I wasn't too worried for that, but like I usually thought that, like, you know, once I'm in the fight, I worry about this arm, so I use my left a lot. No, I didn't think about that. So I just kind of let it heal. I was being smart about it too. So just not doing too much for a while with it. I'm just hitting like maybe 50%, not 100% all the way.
I don't think that's smart to hit it 50% when you're trying to but
when it's like kind of healed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you trained pretty much up to the day before your surgery with a broken hand for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
you had like a plastic bag around it or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah.
Kind of gross. Imagine.
Yeah.
But you trained with one hand, and then within a week of your surgery, you were back in the gym training, but also like had a cast on.
Yeah.
So, dude, that's what you need, man. You need to love it that much that you want to train that much. So, you know, this is what you got, that potential, man. You don't have to tell you to train. The other person reminds me of Mongoose. He's one of our WKA champions that he trained out. He went out in Italy.
The goose is loose.
The goose,
man. The goose is the man. Yeah. He fights hard. He trained also. He fractured his hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, leading up to the championship. So he trained for 6 weeks with a fractured hand, and just like hitting with using one hand. And he went out there and won the whole thing. I think he won the glory division.
Wow.
He competed in 2 different divisions, man. He had some hard fights out there, but we were very proud of him, you know. So it was a good time. But we're hoping, you know, that this whole issue with the pandemic gets cleared up soon, and that we can begin to think about some international fights for you, man.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think a couple fights coming back to get back in the game, and then we can think about, you know, what the future holds. But again, you gotta be serious about the training has never been a problem. I think what's gonna be a problem is your discipline with your food. You gotta and getting to the fight. I would tell the audience that, well, this young man here is very entertaining fighter and a very talented fighter. It does take an entire school to get him over the ropes. We know one thing: if he gets over the ropes, it's going to be an amazing feat. This guy is going to entertain. He's going to win. He's going to, it's going to be awesome. But can he make it over the ropes? We don't know. He might not have his paperwork in order. He might not have taken his blood work. He might not have. He might have been 20 pounds overweight the day before and decided to lose the weight before we get in there.
Hey man, Nahom he's a special guy, you know, like for real. Like we have talked to Darnell and be like, Darnell, you're just gonna have to make sure he does every single thing because we don't really trust him. Once he gets in there, he's good to go. But getting him there he needs a little assistance. I think that's the truth.
Before we can go pro, Nahom, I'm using this opportunity and all the people watching you to make sure that they remind you what the other things you got to do. But no one should remind you. You got to know what the job is, because that's what being a professional is about. You know, you got to take it seriously, and you got to do your job. And your job is you got to make sure your weight's good, and you got to make sure that you bring the food. So after you weigh in, you can have the food and have the water. You got to make the appointments with the doctors so that they do the work so that you can go and fight. You already heard this so many times now.
I have, man. I mean, being like transitioning to a pro fighter, I feel like it's going to be even more serious. So amateur is like, chill back, but as being pro, everything's going to be serious. I noticed that. I noticed that like in that WBC fight that they like, I barely made the weight too. So, and they said that, because I'm an amateur, I would let this go. And I was like, oh, thank you. But then he said, if he was a pro, this was going to happen.
You missed it by 1 pound. You missed it by 1 pound.
Yeah. Well, 0.8, but yeah, it's still a pound. Yeah. But right. Yeah, I was like, sheesh. Okay.
Now that was like 165, right?
Yeah, it was. It was like 155. Like, was it 165?
No, 165. Oh. Was it?
55? No. It wasn't 165. It wasn't 160. It was it was 155. No, yeah.
5. Okay.
It was 155.
It was a tournament you fought that day.
Yeah, it was a tournament too. Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe you weighed 155. That's.
I know.
And was that the day of or the day before?
This was What do you mean, like?
Did we make the weight the day of the fight or the day before the fight?
The day, the day before the fight. Excuse me.
Before the fight, okay.
Yeah, the day before the fight, yeah.
There's been a couple times you had to make weight the day of the fight, so.
Yeah.
What's your regular walk-around weight, Nahom?
Currently,
I mean.
Like.
Right now, what do you weigh? Don't lie.
Wait. We got to have two numbers. We got to have regular weight and then your Corona weight.
Oh, I think it's the same, to be honest.
You think? What is it for real, though?
Before the corona, I was like 177, like 180. During the corona, I'm like 185.
Don't lie.
I'm being serious. Like,
That he's kind of smirking a little bit. Yeah, he's like,
You can always
Be
tell. He's like,
modest.
a little silent.
I'm
Say it.
for real though. I'm like never past 190. So I'm like in that range. I go up and down. So I
But
haven't done anything.
you have the potential because I've seen how much ice cream you can eat afterward. So there was one time where you made weight and then you were eating something, and I saw you had a Snickers bar in your hand, and I was like,
I remember that.
I was like, go home. What is that? And you're like, it's for energy. I was like, no, that's not what you're gonna eat before the fight, dude. Give me that Snickers bar. I'm gonna go buy you a sandwich.
All right, I remember that. It was like the Remy fight, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
the Remy fight,
It was like one of the biggest fights of your life, and I'm like, what are you doing right now? Why are you doing this to me? It's yeah. I think now going back to that WBC fight, you also didn't have your mouthpiece. Yeah, you didn't have your mouthpiece. I asked you about it the day before, but then we only knew that you didn't have your mouthpiece 10 minutes before your fight. So we had to buy a mouthpiece, and we had to break into the kitchen, and I had to microwave water in that. And they were asking like what I was doing in here, even though we weren't. There was a clear sign that said we weren't allowed to pass the point. But I was like, hey, listen, I got to get this guy's mouthpiece heated up so he can make it to the fight. And I had to almost had to bribe the janitor so he wouldn't kick me out or call the cops. But so we got it.
oh man,
Dumped it in your mouth. I was like, bite down as hard as you can. And we just made it with like 2 minutes.
yeah.
I think that fight after that, when Darnell came back, that's when he started making the fight prep bag, and we threw all the extra mouthpieces and extra everything just in case. I remember the mouthpiece, not having a mouthpiece before a fight. I remember that.
It was
Wasn't once too though. It was like 3 times.
yes. I'm so glad you remember that because I told you don't ever let this happen again, and then it happens every time.
I don't know what happened. I mean, sometimes I just forget it. Like, what do I do? Well,
He came one time and he didn't have his shorts or his cup. He just showed up in like basketball shorts and was like, "I'm here to fight." And we're like, "Yo, right now? Are you serious? You got nothing?" We had to get like Coach Darnell, Coach Ron to run to their cars, try to find you some shorts to wear.
oh man,
That was impressive, man. I think the most impressive thing you've ever done was miss your flight to Iowa.
Oh man, I'll never.
That was incredible. That was incredible because we had everybody's tickets in order to fly over to Iowa, and I called Coach Darnell and I was like, hey, listen, you got to make sure you get there because you got to get past security. And I was on the plane and I looked to my left because you guys are supposed to be sitting next to me, and I'm on the plane and I'm like, I don't think they're gonna make it, So I called up Coach Darnell. I was like, hey, where are you right now? And he's like, I'm parking the car at the airport. I was like, you are not going to make it on this plane because it's about to take off in 20 minutes. There's no way you're going to make it past the gate. And there was like silence for a moment. So, I was pissed. And I think he felt that. I don't know if you've heard it, but I called Lewis, I think. And I was like, Lewis, they missed the plane. I don't know what to do. So, but I was like, there's a connector flight in Chicago. So I'm going to fly out there and then I'm going to figure this out when I get there. So I get there, I call up Coach Darnell and I was like, where are you right now? What's happening? Because we're not going to buy an extra ticket to get you there. And so he's like, I'm in the car. I was like, what do you mean you're in the car? He's like, I'm driving to Iowa right now. I was like, you're kidding me.
oh my,
The tournament is tomorrow. It's the weigh-ins are tomorrow. He's like, I know. I'm driving right now, and it was I think it's a 16 to 18 hour drive straight up. But he's a championship driver. This I didn't know about him until he was on the road. So drove out there, and we got there, and we took the entire team. Right, we had Justin from Jersey, Nico, Coach Ron. We were already all out there. Nikki. And Tim Kang. And then we had a bunch of coaches. It was the TBA Muay Thai tournament. So it was like the biggest one of the year. It was in June. It's the first time we ever went to it, and we were out there. And I remember because they were going through all the fight. They were going through talking about all the rules, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, and they shouted out your name in the whole place. They were like, "We're calling to see what's going on because we want to make sure that we have to change up the brackets. If people can't make it, we're going to take people out." And they're like, "Nahom Demisi, Nahom Demisi." I had to get up in front of all the coaches and everything, and I was like, "He's on his way." It's like, "What do you mean he's on his way?" Because the weight scale, we're just shutting it down at midnight. And I was like, "Listen, you want this kid to fight in your promotion, but he's not going to get here until 3 a.m. So, and they're like, and so they're like, "Well, we don't know if we can accommodate him." I was like, "We're asking you kindly, please, if somebody could be there to receive this kid, you're going to want him to fight." And so they made some special allocations in their resources, and they were like, "All right, you can do it." And I think you got there, and as soon as you got there, we got you to the weigh-in.
You see, I didn't know about this, like about the whole thing, because Darnell was like, when we got there, before we even left, he's like, "Now home, this is gonna be a long drive. Do you still want to go?" He gave me options. He was like, "Do you still want to fight?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, we train hard. I'm gonna do this. No matter what. It doesn't matter if I have to wait 18 hours to get there." So I was like, in the car, not doing anything, just 18 hours of like. I didn't even eat or drink for 2 days. So
yeah, because you had to make weight. So you could have made weight that same day, but you had to wait an extra 24 hours to weigh in because you guys were driving across the country.
Yeah, like I didn't know about
not a sip of water, not a sliver of food. You couldn't even drive because you don't have a license. So he had to drive by himself 18 hours with his kid half dead in his trunk. Just like laying there. But, needless to say, we got you there. I don't know. We found food for you. We started rehydrating you, feeding you.
Barely. It was like only for like an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you got in there and you won. And to me, that was an incredible feat, dude. I was like, I don't know. This kid, he's not even been conscious. You were lifeless when I saw you. So we had to like force feed you something, give you enough water that you could get in over the ropes. And again, you made it over the ropes. And despite all the adversity, you still won. Very, very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Dang. Look at that. Is this it? Is this our comeback, our phase 1 reopening?
This is part of. Can you even hear me?
Oh man, what the?
Can you guys hear
what
me?
on earth?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
This.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
This is the new part of the new beta uniform. What do you think?
Oh no.
Yup.
Whoa.
Chris, we got you, man.
I got that, Chris. Look at that. And then, hold on. We got options.
We got options.
Yellow. The yellow's nice. Do we have different colors?
Is that beta signs right there?
Yeah.
What?
Bam.
I like it.
Or
let me take this moment real quick to continue to
there we
thank
go.
sponsors, the Beta Academy students. Thank you so much for continuing to support the school and the staff. And here we go. This is our planned phase 1 reopening for Washington, D.C. We've been working really hard to make sure that the school is safe for everybody to return. Initially, we had planned for May 18th, just like that was when the orders were to expire. But unfortunately, we got the disappointing news that the closure is extended until June 8th. Now, as soon as this happened, I wrote to the mayor or the mayor's office and was asking him, what about martial arts schools? I think we're underrepresented in their reopening committee, and ask him more questions. Louis, man, that's sharp, bro.
Dude, I'm like a model right now, bro.
You look good. You could be a face mask model. It's a new time for people. You don't need to be attractive. You just wear a face mask.
Dude, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
you're
right.
a face mask model. I mean, not that you're not an attractive guy. You know what
It's
I'm saying?
okay, bro. It's okay, man. Like I'm digging all this. Like you don't even know. Look at that.
Face shield.
Oh.
We got a sneeze guard at the school now. So
we could put like our name on here. We could put like, you know, or we could like.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that face mask, man, with the beta
elevation
sign.
mask. Training elevation mask. And Big Bear.
Is a face shield actually part of it, or like do you just have that? Like what?
That's
like
extra.
that? Because that's what's killing me right now is the face shield.
No, I bought face shields for the staff, and then we also have masks for everybody. So we got all these. I got another mask.
Okay, cool, nice.
Oh, I call it a red one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm thinking we're gonna have to sell these for like $10, and then I'm gonna have a $5 mask too. But
now, obviously, the Beta Academy mask is not required, but we do have masks available for sale in case you do not have your own. But from our understanding and interpretation of the reopening guidelines, we must all wear a mask to enter the school at this point. So we're prepared for that. We've stepped up our cleaning protocols now. So we said we're going to have classes every an hour-long classes, and in between classes, we're going to clean for 30 minutes and sanitize everything so that we can receive the next group of people. Unfortunately, I think that again, we're just taking the initiative to reopen because we miss training. We want to do it so bad. It's like having a broken hand and you guys getting back in there to train. You know, we want to get back in there.
When is it opening?
Well, right now the mayor's closures have been extended to June 8th, but they have agreed that if we have like a declining trend for 14 days, that they may reconsider that date and reopen earlier. So I think yesterday we were at day 5. So I think 9 more days, that might put us all the way out to Memorial Day. So after Memorial Day, they will reassess, and if they want to lift it, then they might do so. Now, if that happens, we're prepared to open up. We got hand sanitizer. We have all the classes worked out already, and the instructors on standby. There's a few more people that we got to call to kind of confirm everything. We've already talked to Chris. You know, he's happily jumping on all the podcasts, all the shows now, ready to go. He's anxious to get back. Yeah, I like that. Look.
Do we have to wear a face mask to train?
Yeah. So right now the plan is you have to wear a face mask when you're in beta, right? Okay. And then the staff, I'll give them the face mask and the shield that they want. But I think it's okay to just wear a face shield, but maybe a mask and face shield. I don't know.
Like sprawls and judo and drills and kick and punch in a face shield. That thing is going to get all foggy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm trying this thing on to see if it fogs up, and it looks like it's all right. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of safe. Like, I think I might go out. I think I might go outside like this today. Like, I already look a little weird. Aaron says,
if you go outside, you actually don't need to wear that, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's what they say.
To protect other people. If you're social distancing, I think if you're outside by yourself, you don't got to wear a mask.
You know what? When I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna wear it.
You do it, yeah. Only like when you're like in a space, like a store.
I just saw a person. I was at the H Mart just now, so that's why I got like this crease on my nose because I was wearing a face mask. I saw this person in a full-on hazmat suit, like from head to toe, hooded up, glasses on, face mask on, gloves on. This is the only person out there, and so I think it like scared more people than anything else. I was like, "Yo, what's going on with this person?" But you know.
I don't know. It's kind of scary out there, man. But Aaron says I look like I'm about to do illegal surgery on a cat. I don't know what he's talking about. And yes, you can decorate your own face shield. At least that's what people are saying on Facebook.
You can decorate your face shield?
Yeah, you can probably put stickers. You know, I might do that on mine. You know,
I lick my fingers like this, and then
mask.
Oh
Yeah, I know, right?
And just
take a Sharpie. Take a Sharpie and just draw a face on it or something like a jack-o'-lantern or something walking around.
So now wait,
every day is Halloween, right?
Yeah, I mean now everybody's got the go ahead and become a ninja. You might as well.
Yeah, now we could play red team or yellow team versus red team.
But we can't touch each other.
But you can't touch each other, so 6 feet apart. So
we can't touch each other.
So when we do, the plan was when we do open up, we're gonna I'm gonna have a temperature gun, so I'm gonna zap everyone in the forehead. Make sure you're under 99.5. They need to come prepared with indoor shoes, and because they're gonna when they walk in with their
should always have sandals anyway.
Yeah, so they're gonna walk in with their outdoor shoes, and then we're gonna make them change into their indoor shoes, and then they have to walk to the mat. Then they have to train, do whatever they want to do, or whatever class they're in, because there's gonna be a Jiu-Jitsu class and a Muay Thai class. And then after class, they have to walk out. And that means you can't use the locker room, you can't go in there to change, nothing. All you could do is hang out in your little cube, 6x6 cube.
Yeah, I'm already seeing some social media. Some of my friends who own schools have classes. I saw like a jiu-jitsu class. They were like doing like sprawls and shots, and
I got to see this.
Yeah, fluffy jiu-jitsu or fluffy BJJ. Good friend of mine, David Reeves. Yes, check. I mean, now I'm starting to see stuff come up. So you're seeing schools beginning to open up. But here, other thing I saw, other phase one, because in Virginia, phase one, they aren't allowing gyms to open, but they are allowing you to train outside. So I did see some training outside. So that might be another route that we could take. If they're not going to let us open inside, we can open outside.
Yeah, I mean,
go to the park. The park's right there.
Go to Malcolm X Park.
Yeah.
Just claim a spot.
I don't think there's a problem with that. I mean, I saw pairs training too. I mean, they had masks on, but there were pairs of people training. I don't know how. Again, I think part of their extension of the closure was because they didn't have the guidelines ready to release to the public. I think that is a failure of our government. I think our government forgets that we pay them, but right now their ineptitude and their delays on this is making it harder for all the local businesses to function. So we are kind of taking it into our own hands right now and trying to figure out what might be what this phase one look like. And can you have partners? And if we are having partners, perhaps what we would do is make small teams and you make a quarantine.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard you can 4 people that only train together, they count as one unit. So they could come in as a unit and take up one of our cubes, because I think it's 10 people per class. So we'd have 10 cubes on the mat, and maybe these 4 people can hang out in their own little 6x6 cube.
But that means only 6 other people you could have in there, right?
I don't know. I don't know if they count as one unit or if they count as 4 people.
We have to know what is the gathering limit? Is it a 10-person gathering limit? There's also another time where they say 50% capacity in a business. It's very hard to tell. All I do know is that there is a number on the front of that page that says, if you think there's a business that is acting, that's opening illegally, you give us a call and we'll straighten them out.
What?
People are being incentivized to narc on each other, dude.
Oh, this is weird.
It's weird, right? It's on the front thing of their page. If you think somebody's open when they're not supposed to, or doing something, or not taking safety precautions, call us, and we're going to come there and shut them down. So
hold on. So wait a second. Are you telling me that snitch culture has now become a mainstream thing? Yeah, let's just snitch on everybody.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We are encouraged right now to snitch on each other because these people might be doing something that's unsafe. Now, Louis, did you say that some schools were closed? Or some people were operating illegally?
So, yeah. So, a couple, people be training, a lot of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, like Buchecha, Leandro Lo, Herber Santos. I think they're training together, right? So like people are training, and then there's like a UFC fight card, which means people are training together.
Got to be people training,
right? So people are training, and this guy I know in California, 10th Planet. I think it's the Freakazoid guys, the 10th Planet Freaks. They were training with a small group, and somebody knocked on them. And then this other
quarantine, even though they had like were they opening their school or just having a quarantine?
Well, I guess because there was a gathering.
There was so what happened was they're training in their coach's like house or basement or something.
Is that what it was?
House. Yeah, the 10th Planet.
Yeah.
So Nico went there like over the weekend, I think. So they were training at the 10th Planet's coach kind of crib. He had a little gym there with the mats and stuff. So people started coming there and they're training inside there. So there was a gathering there. People can just walk by in the streets and they can see them train. So it could be anyone, to be honest.
Dang. So they got shut down. I know, the Rice brothers, Tanner Rice and all them.
Yeah.
They're operating right now, but I don't know if they're getting in trouble or not. Like, I haven't followed up with all these people that are opening up. But then you got, like, people in Texas. I think Texas, they're allowed to open because they had a Fight to Win Jiu-Jitsu tournament or Fight to Win Jiu-Jitsu thing in Texas. And then, the UFC was in Florida, so I'm guessing Texas and Florida are opening up. And
I'd say it's really good to see live sports again. Like it's been a while. We took it all for granted because there's so much saturation in combat sports. There's something happening every week that you just kind of all drowned it all. That was all white noise. But now, like anything that comes up, I'm watching it. So with the Fight to Win Pro, they got like 2 of them lined up already, right? There's like two. Yeah.
He says he's going to try to do them like every weekend. Like he's just going to try to hit it up. And I guess Florida and Texas, they're just going to a lot of people are trying to get away from the states that have all the restrictions because it's like if we could open up somewhere else or I guess.
Elon Musk is trying to move his California facilities into Texas.
Look at that. See?
He actually sued the government and told them that it was illegal what they were doing to make him shut down.
Damn. See, when you got money like that, I guess you could talk like that, Because, dang. Even for us, the Northern Virginia, I guess, parts of Maryland and D.C., we're all shut down. But the rest of Virginia and the rest of Maryland is opened up. Well,
they do the phase 1 reopening, which still doesn't allow gyms to open up, right? Unless they're outside training. And then retailers are 50%.
But we can't even do outside organized training because of our insurance, right? Like we can't be having classes outside.
I'm gonna go look into that.
Yeah, because like at least from what I think, we have to have students indoors to be safe. But I mean, we'll see, right?
But you think like that's kind of the opposite, though? Isn't outside safer in this situation?
Yeah. They say if you're outside, you're okay because. I don't want to sound like, those people, but they say, like, as long as you're in the sunlight, it's a little bit better than being, like, inside the grocery store. So I guess but I guess no matter what, I guess a face mask is good.
Yeah, the videos that I'm seeing outside posted on social media, people are training in groups of 2s, but they're wearing masks. And not grappling, but, like, striking. That can be done. So again, we are waiting for the guidelines from DC. They were supposed to have come out last week. So we are itching to open. So we are doing everything we can to prepare and get ready. Lewis has been working hard behind the scenes, trying to make sure that, this does happen. And we're pretty much, if they call us next week. When I say call us, but they release the thing. We're ready.
We're ready. Like, maybe give me, 2 days notice. Like, at least give me 2 days to really prepare the school because I still got to put the tape down to make the cubes. But I'm waiting on more guidelines because is it 10 cubes per mat or is it as many cubes as possible as long as they're 6 feet apart? So that's what I'm trying to wait for. That's why I need them to tell me something so that way I can prepare. But until I get that information, I can't do anything. So I just need 2 days notice before they let us open. That's it.
And right now, like what we've been doing is looking at Virginia and Maryland's phase 1 opening, kind of like comparing the 2. I think as I understand right now is that they're doing a coordinated effort amongst Northern Maryland or Maryland that surrounds DC, which is like Montgomery County, PG County, and the Northern Virginia area, which is like Fairfax County, Arlington County, and Loudoun County, and some of the cities that are around like Alexandria and whatnot. So those have not fully opened up yet. And as a matter of fact, most of my friends that also run martial arts schools are in those areas. So we're trying to talk and try to coordinate and figure this out. Pretty soon, we're going to have to like fight the power, man. Martial arts can't be illegal, dude. Like,
hey, we got masks. We ready to train. Look at this. We ready. Hey, you know what we got to do is remember Chris has to ask you a question.
Oh, yes.
Chris, you got to pick your best question, and then you're going to have to ask. We don't have a lot of time.
we could also, you know, since we have, well, go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We got a little time.
All right, perfect. So yeah, I did have some questions. I'm sure the audience would love to know some things about you as well, Nak. So first, let's just start at the beginning. Where did you get your start with martial arts? You know, where did this whole thing begin for you?
For me, I was training at the Shaolin Martial Arts Academy, and that was a school in Rockville, Maryland. I found martial arts probably in 1991, training Kung Fu. I told the story a few times where I had contracted Lyme's disease.
Hey, people want to learn Kung Fu from you, bro.
That's how I started.
Kung Fu is great, you know. It teaches you how to be coordinated, have balance, move your body. And for me, like at that time, the martial arts scene was really full of karate and taekwondo and like tang sudo, hapkido, like all these classical martial arts styles. But I was really looking for something that was more unique, something that was more geared toward combat. And initially I was looking for Wing Chun Kung Fu because I wanted to follow my idol at that time, Bruce Lee, and even now, and get a start in his style that he started, which was Wing Chun Kung Fu. It's a southern style of Kung Fu, which is more focused on kicks lower to the body and striking and blocking at the same time. But they really didn't have a whole lot of schools here in the DC area that had that. Instead, I found a Northern Shaolin school, which was more focused on kicking, like high kicking, more of like flowing movement and forms and technique. And so that's where I got started. But luckily, my first instructor, Mufandishi Bakari, he was very well known in the classical martial arts circle, and he competed a lot, and he really did focus a lot on combat. And so we did learn from him and really try to go and apply our technique in tournament. And also a person that I met there is Shifu. Shifu is like means teacher. Shifu Gorani, Kevin Gorani, who was an inspiration of mine as the way he moved and the way that he fought. And so like I met a lot of cool people who were taking this Kung Fu lifestyles, you know, like this is all they really wanted to do. Like I remember I wanted to get my black belt, but I never got there because I trained for 3 years. It takes many years to get your black belt, but you got to do 100 days of training to get your black belt. You know, you got to train 100 days in a row.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, that's what they made you do. You had to go through. Have you done your 100 days? You know, type of deal. So
like you gotta. I'm assuming you got to get to your brown belt, and then you have to do 100 days in a row.
It was a different system. Like we had a white belt, a blue belt, a blue and white belt, and then a black belt. But you had to be a certain age to get a black belt. When I first started, I was like 12 years old. So I trained in Kung Fu till I was like 14, 15 years old. Wow. So I wasn't old enough to get a black belt, but you know, I was training towards it, and I trained as much as I could. And I really loved Kung Fu as a way to start, and it really exposed me to a lot of different martial artists, martial art styles. I did compete a lot in point sparring and forms and whatnot coming up. Back then,
you told me you had a bunch of trophies and stuff that you won, and you just what
did
you do with all that stuff?
I threw them away.
Man. Threw them away, yeah.
I know. Look, back then, like when I was brought up by my grandparents, and my grandfather really kind of like ran my life in that respect. You know, like he always wanted me to go compete as much as I could. So imagine we drive to like West Virginia and then to compete on a Saturday and then drive back around and come back to like, you know, South Carolina on a Sunday to compete and go back to DC. He was always looking for the biggest trophies. So back then, like they had 6-foot trophies, you know, so like, oh, here's a 6-foot trophy and you can, this is where they had the biggest one. And we go out there and do it. And so I had like probably over 150 titles competing in you know, martial arts. So I would do forms, you do point sparring, you do weapons. And for me, my weapons were a broadsword and a bow staff. And so it was different though, because you were always kind of the people that like the black sheep, or like you were the kind of like the ostracized group there. And that's always been my whole life. You know, it's always been underdog coming up, and I thrive in that type of environment, and I actually prefer it, you know, less pressure. But back then those tournaments were really they were run and they were dominated by karate, kung fu, karate, taekwondo, Korean martial arts, that type of thing. So when you brought a kung fu style to it, where you were more like fluid rather than like rigidly locking out and like screaming at the top of your lungs, it was different. You were kind of ridiculed, you were laughed at, but also you had to fight harder and compete harder to win, because you had to earn the respect of the judges. And so you know, I'm no, I guess no stranger to that type of adversity coming up. Even though I later found out that what I was learning wasn't actually combat, you know, but I thought that I was really learning how to fight, you know, but I later I was shown that was not correct.
That's jiu-jitsu, dog.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. So it sounds like you had a very profound, you know, upbringing, and put a lot of work into martial arts coming up. And, you know, with all that experience and knowledge, what could you tell other fighters who are coming up and trying to make a name for themselves? You know, we have Nahom here. I'm sure this would be very relevant to him, and he would love to hear it from your mouth. So I don't know how you feel about that.
I borrow words from Lewis, and he said you got to obsess about this. You know, this is like what you got to live it all the time. It's not a part-time thing. You know, even now I see the younger generation with social media. Social media wasn't around when I was coming up, so you did these things because you really loved to do them. You know, like as soon as you got out of work or got out of school, like in school, like I was drawing pictures of doing kicks or like triangle chokes and whatever. And, you know, teachers come around like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, just, I'm trying to get to my happy place, because this is where I want to be. But you got to be totally obsessive about it. You got to be passionate about it, and you got to train it, you know, and with this whole thing of social media right now, it's like you can make images of what it is, almost like an avatar. Like, yeah, I'm a fighter. I want to be labeled I want the title of a fighter, but I don't want to do the work. You know, I don't want to show up to training. I don't want to be the first one to show up, and I don't want to be the last one to leave. I don't want to put in the time on the road. I don't want to run. I don't want to have to like do the strength and conditioning. I don't want to watch my weight. These things you gotta want to do them, you know. And it's not that you want to. It's almost got to come from like a higher place, and you got to. And if you don't have that, I mean, sometimes it's hard to get. But as you progress through and you take your beatings, like I always come up and have like a big brother. I always see them as big brothers, like beat me down. You know, that gives me inspiration to train harder and to try to beat them. But it, you know, in that you might find that fire in you. You know, you're like, man, I'm tired of this. Like I need to find it in me to you know, that passion. You have to dig down and connect to it. And I think it's in all of us. You really just have to find it, you know. But that being said, yeah, you got to work hard. You got to really, really want to do it, you know, and to do it not outside of looking for the title, be it the championship title or just like a written title of fighter, you know, so that other people can think of you in a certain way. You're going to want to do it for you, you know, and all that other stuff. While it is important later on to promote yourself and to find the right opportunity, you know, because like they say, like the path to a champion is not like a straight line. You got to kind of like get around. There's going to be obstacles there too. People who you got to fight people at the right time and take the right opportunity, you know, and that comes from also surrounding yourself with good people, mentors, and also like the best that you can find to help train you. And outside of just training, it's also the best people that can advise you and advocate for you, you know, people who care about you. And so therefore you need a team of people that really want to help you, you know, and a lot of times it's like, you know, as a fighter, we say you got to kind of be a little selfish, you know, with your time and what you're doing. You got to find people that are kind of outside of that now, that maybe move beyond that and are ready to give time and put time and resources into somebody who is looking to do it. And they're not going to do it for everybody. You know, they're going to look to see who is there after class, getting the extra techniques in, doing the kicks, doing the combinations, doing the extra time. And you say, like, you know, this guy over here, like, he's got something. And it's not talent. You know, they say that hard work will always be talent when talent refuses to work hard. You know, and this is true. There's a lot of talented people that are great at what they do, but they don't want to put in the time. You know, that means you don't care about it enough. So you really got to dedicate all your time, and everything you are has to be that. But in doing so, it also needs to be, it can't be a drudgery. Like, yeah, I got to make a training, and I just don't really want to train, you know? And that, I don't know if you can, that's got to be in you, that you really just want to do this.
Yeah, you got to lie to yourself a little bit, right? Like, like, nope, this is just what I'm doing. I always tell people, nobody ever wants to do anything, right? So if you're looking for that time where you want to go train hard, it really never happens. You never want to brush your teeth, but you do it every day. So I don't know, maybe some people during quarantine don't do it every day, but they should, right? But like, you don't want to brush your teeth, you just do it. So like, when you're a fighter, it's like, well, this is practice. You just have to show up. Like, you have to be there, just show up to practice. And it doesn't matter if you want to do it or not. It's what you have on your schedule right now. And I agree, like, a fighter needs to be a little selfish because they have to focus a lot of attention on their own abilities, you know? And like, you see Nahom in there, man, he trains for such long stretches of time because he breaks it all down. Like, he's always moving around. He's always trying new things. And he has fun in there. You know, you don't see him tense up a lot. He's very fluid. And man, I can't believe, Nahom, you're so young because you're so skilled, man. It's a bright future ahead, man, for real. I think we have let's do, if we can we do like one more question and then this will be it.
Yeah. Also, look, I found some pictures. I don't know if you can see these pictures. Oh, I can't see them.
Oh, your green screen is messing it up.
Green screen.
Yeah.
It's
phasing in and out of dimensions over there.
I turn it off. I'm in my room. I don't know. I feel like I'm digging through. I'm finding pictures. This is like I was a blue belt.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Young.
Old school.
There's some more. Yeah, it's a good friend of mine. This is Andy Barrett's. We're going to tournaments together, train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, those trophies are the truth.
Here's a picture of me doing the. Oh wait. Oh, that's my cousin. Hold on. My cousin on here. Oh, here. Can you see this?
Oh my God, for real, dog?
That's me doing kung fu.
Whoa. You doing splits?
Yeah.
Dude, that was
so good.
So old pics, man. Yeah. So we were trying to do it, man. You got one more question for me?
Yeah, I do. You know, we talked about you coming up. You know, we talked about you giving advice to the new generation. So I just want to ask overall, what's your mission with martial arts in general, and what legacy do you want to leave behind, and what message do you want to leave behind? And if you had to walk away from martial arts today for whatever reason, what strong message would you like to leave in the place of your presence?
Whoa, that's a deep question.
Oh yeah, that's
damn.
You know, for me, I think that martial arts is power for the people. You know, so I think this is something that we need to do, and we need to pass on to the next generation, and not just kids, but you know, adults who might not have had any type of physical activity, or even like had faced adversity in that way. I think it's good for everybody, because the way that things are going and the way that they are now, it's almost like they're just going to give things to you. And we forget what it's like to have to like set a goal and to focus all of our energy to earn something. And at the end of that, there's a gift, and that is going to be a different path for everybody. And it may not be martial arts, but I think for me in my life, it's had a profound impact. So I would like it to pass it on to other people. And that's really why we have the school there. And sometimes through that, it's not always an easy path. And at times, like maybe I feel like I hold back or I coddle people in a way, but really I would like it so that everybody challenges themselves, and for me to say that is one thing, but to do it is another way. I always try to find opportunity, be it competition or something, like to test my skill. And I put a lot on the line, and I realize that, a lot of it is ego when you're there and you're like, oh, you lost. How could you lose? Like, you're terrible at this. But you have to kind of put that aside and take these risks in order to test yourself and challenge yourself to get these gifts that are at the end. And so for me, instead of like telling people those things, I prefer to just show them. I'm not afraid of doing that. I will go. I don't always get the results that I want, and I work hard for them. And I just like everybody else get disappointed if I don't reach that goal or don't come back with the medal or don't get the win that I'm looking for. But, I continue to work towards it, and I have a lot of goals, and, perhaps that maybe that might inspire other people to do those things. And I'm not necessarily saying that like sports is the way to anything, but more of the example of, testing yourself and facing fear. I think that's a big thing. And that's what I would like to leave, for other people. I'm approaching 40 now. And I once this thing lifts, I hope to continue to test myself and lead in that way. But also in that I have to, at one point, be able to step aside and put energy into other people and make room for the next generation, because, I can't do it the way that I'm doing it forever. Once I'm 50 or 60 years old and I get a young 20-year-old to come deal with, like, that's you're already, it's not, I guess the odds are not in your favor. Let's put it that way. So you got to be ready to put that aside and give back. And I think like this is a good time too for people like Nahom that are coming up, good opportunities, because, in the last couple of years, I've had to be selfish too for my own time, because I've had the goals of being a champion, and I was able to do that in 2016 to get the No-Gi World Championship. But, in that I had to really make my training the focus. And so soon, as this thing moves forward and I get a little older, I think I'm going to be ready to put some time into some other people. And right now we have a really good team behind us, be Coach Darnell, Coach Hyro, that are putting in energy, that are giving their time. And, we appreciate them very much. And so that being said, Nahom, I think this is time for you to begin to focus yourself so that we can begin to do some great things, because, we would like to put the school, put the school on the map. We do have a lot of talented and hardworking people at the school, and we need to begin to showcase them more. We need to show the world what they're made of, and what the school can produce. Because over the last 10 years, like, I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I've seen a lot of people with a lot of potential, but also in that, like, you're going to have to want it. Like we said before, like you got to want this, and you have to have seen that vision for yourself. You see yourself being a champion and see yourself standing on the podium. I think that Nahom has all those tools, and he has a group that is looking to support him too. He just needs to make sure that he rises to the occasion, does everything he's supposed to do, so that we can get you there. So, I guess it's a long-winded, a long-winded response to your question, but I think that those are the marks that we can leave behind, and I'm hoping that the way that I like to embody martial arts, more than just the physical aspects, and even beyond, like, the challenging yourself all the time. And that's a part of something greater, which is like, you know, the spiritual aspects of martial arts is, you know, be honorable, you know, be accountable to your actions, and making sure you lead by example. And the Bushido code that we put up on top of the at the entrance of the combat room that you walk into all the time, you know, I would hope that we're passing these things on to people. And you can't teach anybody anything. He'd be like, yo, I'm teaching him how to do this and that. Like, you really have to show people what that is. And that's in your actions. That's putting up messages. That's just putting that over here. And you say like, hey, what do you think about this? You know, or take a look at this. And we do that in different ways. Like, it's a lot, the method of it has to be, you know, very subtle, because anytime you take somebody and you try to tell them something, like, you know, that people have resistance against this types of things. You know, they have that's ego getting in the way. But really, like, where does that come from? Does that come from you trying to put yourself above somebody else? Or does that come from a place where you're trying to put the human race, like, in a higher place? You know, and I think that I would say, you know, I'm a lover and a fighter in that way. Like, I love people, and I want us to be better. And it's not to say that I am a better person than anybody else, but I would like myself to be better. And we can do this through practicing martial art. It's something that has been coming through since, you know, the beginning of time, in a way. Combat is something that, you know, we've all been, that we've been a part of for so long. But, you know, to study it, understand those lessons, and be able to take them and to better our life through it, and also peacefully. You know, I think this is the way to the preservation of our people, is through studying martial art. I really believe that. And so, you know, this is where we're trying to get more people involved in the community, trying to keep this community going, and we don't want it to be lost. So, you know, with that said, like, everybody here, you three especially, been training at the school for a long time. You are also part of that, you know, legacy, not my legacy, but the legacy of martial art, and hopefully the legacy of our people.
Hell yeah, dog.
Okay.
We're ready, dog. I'm gonna go.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Martial arts is an awesome thing, man. We got to keep it going. Like, I don't own it. No one owns it. It's everybody's a part of it. And I would say that all the relationships that I've had throughout life, you know, others outside of my immediate family and people that raised me, has come through martial art in some way, shape, or form. And I'm very, it connects us in a way that nothing else I've ever done has. You know, I've been on a bowling league, like, you know, done a lot of different things. You're like, hey, these are my people. But at the same time, like, you know, would we stand shoulder to shoulder and be fighting off a horde of angry, you know, I guess rioters coming towards us? I don't know. This is a crazy example, but, like, you know, I'm confident that the people that I know through martial art, like, we got each other's backs, and we will stand next to each other in the face of adversity. And so therefore, like, that relationship goes deeper than anything else that I've been a part of. And that being said, but having brothers and sisters as part of this thing that we do, we might not always see eye to eye. We might not always be the best of friends. As a matter of fact, like, I've also had the most, I guess, crazy relationships with people throughout time through martial art. But in martial arts training, I understand that conflict and misunderstanding, if we can fight through and get through that and arrive at the other side, it actually brings us a lot closer together. And we understand that, you know, we are one people. So it's taught me a lot of lessons on and off the mat. And I hope that more and more people will want to do this, because, you know, it's a journey that once you become a part of, it's a part of you for forever. And even if you think you stop training, like, there's always something inside of you that you learn from it, or something calling to you from it that you get that help you along the way. And so therefore, like, it is something that we can all connect with, and we should continue to do it, because it is going to make us stronger. And so, given the fact that all these things that are happening around us, we need this. We need to be able to stand up to things that are wrong in life. And we're going to come, I think, in the next, you know, couple of months to a year, we're going to have to do that. And so, you know, these lessons are going to be very important.
Very well said.
Beautifully put.
Hey, remember, guys, we got masks at Beta. This is what you're going to see. When you come to Beta, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a bunch of us like this. Be like, hey, what's up, dude?
It's great to see you.
Or like this, hey, what's up, dude? Maybe in yellow. Or, bam, maybe in black.
Dang.
I
Man,
just saw that.
Oh, he just popped that shit up.
I'm going with the black or red one.
Oh man.
We
That's
got
right.
it. We got it all. So, yep, we're ready. We've been ready, and we can't wait to get back to opening up and reuniting and training together. It's been way too long. It may not be what we imagined in the beginning, but I know that as we continue to move forward and restrictions get lifted and we win the fight with, the virus and the politicians, that we will get back to what we were doing. So we just have to be patient. We have to continue to work hard at it and be together on this fight. So thank y'all.
Of course.
Hey, this was a great.
Great. We'll always
episode.
get back, man.
Together.
Always.
Chris, that was awesome. Thank you for joining us. I hope you join us for the future episodes. You're a really good addition to the team, and we love having you as part of this. A very entertaining guy. So let's continue to do this. All right, Nahom, you know what you got to do. Let's get ready. I'm writing to the One Championship. All right, I'm going to write to them, and I'm contacting them all the time. If they give us the opportunity, we're going to take it. So I need you to keep training hard. Like, I don't got to tell you that, but I do need you to make sure your weight's good so that if any opportunity does come, that we're able to jump on this. Okay. It's a great opportunity now because, as we said, it's any live sporting event that's coming on is getting total attention. As tonight, you can watch the UFC. It's like their third event they're having, and this week everybody's watching. Flow Grappling got events going on. Everybody's watching. No other sports. That should be an example. No other sporting league or association is doing anything. We are the first. Our industry is the first because we got the attitude, that winning attitude. So, right. So if anything comes up, we're going to take it.
Sir.
All right. Thank y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great weekend. Let's talk soon. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach Lewis. Thank you, Nahom. Be safe.
Thank you. Peace.
peace out.